Welcome to Christ Energy Yoga this morning. It's good to be with this little group that's here and maybe more that will be watching later. Welcome. It's kind of a cold day in Arkansas. Bundled up. I'm in my inner winter, so I'm just feeling like coziness is needed. If anyone would like to share today, where you are, where your location is, and also today I've been feeling like exploring and connecting with diversity and compassion and holding space for the spectrum of things that we experience and that other people experience and are. And so I invite you, if you want to take a moment and to be with yourself and to check in with what's beautiful in your life right now and also what is difficult. And after a few moments, if you want to share in the chat your location, where you are, and then something that's beautiful and something that's difficult in your life right now, we can be a space for holding witness for that. So whenever you feel ready, you can add into the chat your location. Mine is Arkansas. And what is beautiful and what's difficult for you right now. Those are my answers in the parentheses. Today we're exploring how Christ was able to really hold space for difference, for the spectrum of experience for other people and for himself. And maybe it's something you just hold for yourself and doesn't feel right to share. Or maybe it is something you share and we can be a space to just acknowledge those things that you're experiencing. Thank you for sharing, everyone. Relationships, stages of life, seasons. Yes. Mental health and wellness. Living in the present. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. Yes. Okay, so this practice comes from my own personal experience, trying to do this in my own life, and trying to involve Christ in the experience of holding space for the things that are beautiful and the things that are difficult. And and studying and experiencing Christ consciousness in Christ practice in his mortal ministry, and also his words of being able to do that with other people and with himself. And then also from this book, it's called My Grandmother's Hands by Resmaa Menakem. And it's so important and so beautiful. And it's about how we hold that tension in our bodies, and when we can make more space for compassion with our own experiences and what our bodies are holding, the more we can make space for that in people that are different from us, and how racialized trauma, that's how racialized trauma heals, when we hold space for ourselves and our bodies, and then we can hold space for other people. So I would like to begin with something called the Diversity Welcome. Some of you know it, some of you may not. It's from the Training for Change. So I invite you to sit with yourself. Maybe you place your hand on your heart or wherever feels good, just to connect to your body and yourself and what comes up for you. So welcome. Welcome to people of all genders. People of African descent, Black, African American, Asian descent, Arab descent, European descent, those who identify as Hispanic, Latinx, people indigenous to this land, and people of mixed and multiple descents. Languages spoken here, people of different class backgrounds, and this is those watching and maybe those watching later. Working class, middle class, owning class, or those who aren't sure where they fit on the class spectrum. People who currently struggle with getting access to resources necessary for survival, and people who currently have more access to those resources. Wherever we are from, all over the country and possibly world. People with disabilities, visible or invisible. Gay, lesbian, bisexual, heterosexual, pansexual, queer, or others for whom none of the labels fit. Your bodies and the different ways you experience your body. People who identify as activists and people who don't. Single, married, partnered, dating, in monogamous or polyamorous relations. Those who are sexually active and those who aren't. Those in their teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Your emotions, joy and bliss, grief, rage, indignation, contentment, disappointment. Those who support you to be here, your families, genetic and otherwise. People with different faiths, religious traditions, faith practices, private practices, who don't belong to a tradition, agnostics, atheists, seekers, people who are vaccinated and people who are not, those dear to us who have died, our elders here in this room and our lives, and those who are passed away. And finally, I'd like to welcome the ancestors of those who lived in the land wherever you are now. Where I am in Arkansas, I welcome the spirits of the Caddo, Quapaw, Osage, and many other natives who lived in this area before the Europeans came. I'd like to acknowledge them and invite their spirits to this place. Welcome. I invite you to breathe. Settling your body into the space where you are. And notice your body. I invite you to notice your body. The sensations. And I invite you to just stay with them. Not needing to change or alter, but just staying with your sensations, breathing into your sensations. Maybe noticing if there are parts of your body that are holding tension, or if there are parts that are relaxed. And for me, Christ-centered restorative movement in yoga is about inviting Christ into my practice and experience of seeking to heal the different layers of myself, my body, my mind, my energy, my emotions, my spirit, and making space for him to come in and be more part of that experience as my healer. So as you're here feeling your feelings or feeling your sensations, I invite you to tune in to your intuition and do what you need to do for the next little while. I'll be doing some gentle movement, so if you need and want to follow along with me, you can. Or maybe you just do your own thing, listening to your body and following the feeling. Maybe you turn your video on, maybe you turn it off. This is a liberated Zoom space, so do whatever feels best for you. And again, if you want to, continually checking with that breath, because on the breath flows prana, flows life energy, flows the light of Christ and love and healing. So as you make space for your breath, you make more space for that to flow in and through you. And maybe as you inhale, you feel it flowing in, receiving that light. And as you exhale, you release anything that you don't need anymore. Or you're just releasing tension or just releasing, letting the breath flow through you. Holding space for whatever you're experiencing in your body, in your mind, in your emotions. What would it be like if Christ was right there with you, knowing exactly what you're experiencing? How would he engage with those aspects of you? For me, he holds infinite space and infinite compassion. He understands those hard things. He understands those beautiful things. And he just wants to be with me and hold space for me and help me to love all of those parts of myself and bring them into metabolization and integration and healing and oneness. So maybe you notice as you're breathing some tension in your shoulders and in your neck. So maybe you bring your chin down to your chest, just gently rocking and moving. And maybe you circle your chin slowly in one direction, checking in with your hands and your arms and finding the position that feels best. And then bringing that arc of your chin back down toward the opposite way and gently stretching up. Breathing. Inhale, receiving. Exhale, releasing. Maybe you exhale as a sigh. Good. Maybe you're finding some gentle heart openings. Pressing back, rounding your spine, pressing forward. Maybe some gentle shoulder circles in one direction. And then the other. Maybe move your heart in one direction and then the other. And depending on the energy of today, the weather outside and your inner weather, the season of year, the season inside you, the time of day, your body may want to do things differently. It will find the natural balancing that it needs. And maybe you take a break and just notice how your body's feeling. A transition in between receiving and integrating and listening for whatever is next. For me, that's the side to side movement. Gently feeling your whole body engaging, your whole body awareness of whatever it is you're experiencing. Feeling free to make any sounds, any groans or cries or giggles or hacking, whatever it is that your body needs. To release any stored trauma or tension that is ready to just release out, making space for more light, more love, more compassion. And again, whenever you feel ready, or like it's time, taking a little break and just resting and receiving, integrating and metabolizing, and listening for whatever's next. And maybe you've made space for some emotion or some experience to come up, to be processed and to be released. And I invite you to breathe and to notice and to stay with that, allowing it to come and to process. Inviting or imagining Christ or Christ consciousness being with you, holding space with you. Maybe there are angels that also come, or guides who are wise and loving that help hold that space, that create a container for compassion and witnessing and releasing rebirth and regeneration. A resetting. Maybe your body needs slow movement, or maybe it needs something more active, whatever you are feeling. I am menstruating, so I just need very calm, slow moving things, but you may be somewhere completely different. Now I'm bringing my feet together and my knees apart and gently rocking side to side. And slowly moving my nose toward my toes. Continuing to breathe in whatever shape you're in. Maybe you explore how your breath fills up your body in a way that feels different than it did in other shapes or movement. As you inhale, sending light and breath and prana to those spaces. And exhale, releasing anything from those spaces. And if you're still with me, which you definitely don't have to be, I'm moving my hands one over the other to one side and finding a gentle side stretch. Maybe you're focusing on your breath or the sensations of your body, or maybe your mind has wandered a little bit. And if you want it to wander, let it wander. If you want it to come back, you can gently just reset, invite yourself to come back. Your breath is a bridge, if not the bridge, between your body and your mind. So you can build that bridge, reconnect that bridge again. And maybe you gently walk your hands one over the other to the opposite side. Inhale, receiving. Exhale, releasing. When you're ready, maybe moving back to center and checking in wherever you are, receiving what you're experiencing and listening for the next best thing, the next right thing. Beautiful. And taking a moment to, if you want to, lift your head up, feeling the crown of your head connecting with the heavens, feeling your roots rooting down into the earth, and breathing here. Inviting Christ's light and love and compassion and capacity to hold space for all experience, non-judgmentally at this time. And maybe you move to your hands and your knees if this feels right, or moving in a way, whatever way feels right. Maybe you're tucking your toes and really doing some toe yoga, some foot yoga, opening up. I like to kind of run my foot along my mat, my toes along my mat, to just stretch out the bottom of my toes. Lifting my hips and just finding some intuitive movements in this space. Another good space for sighs or lion breath release. So you can stick out your tongue. Just really let it all out. Maybe you find some cat-cows here. Lifting your belly button, tucking your chin. Maybe some gentle movement back and forth. Maybe some undulations here. Maybe gently circling your ribs in one direction. And then the other. Something that might be coming up for you. When I first started to do this kind of movement with my body, this was something I was definitely not accustomed to and felt pretty strange doing, moving in more sensual ways. So I invite you to hold space for yourself and whatever you're experiencing. And know that, again, this is a liberated space. So you don't need permission, but in case you need it, you have permission to move in sensual ways. In ways that feel good to our bodies and that are needed and helpful. We are that we might have joy in our bodies too. And maybe you find a gentle child's pose in whatever way feels best for you. Maybe your knees are together, maybe they're apart as you relax down. Maybe your hips are up, or maybe they're pressed back on your feet. Maybe your arms are straight out or wrapped around or up above your head or inside your legs. Whatever feels good. Again, breathing in that light and love and compassion all throughout your body and all the layers of you. A few more minutes of finding movement that feels good, and then we'll move into some guided relaxation. Maybe you move to a seated shape with your legs stretched out in front of you. Maybe you lift up your sit cushions and feel your sit bones grounding down. Maybe your hips are lifted up a little bit with a blanket or a pillow or a towel. Maybe you support yourself with your fingers lifting your heart, flexing your feet, and pointing. Maybe you use a fist to support yourself. Flexing and pointing. Maybe you make circles with your feet in one direction. And then the other. Whatever feels good. And maybe you slowly rock or start to fold forward. Just finding a gentle forward bend, however far works for you. I don't go very far because my quads are very tight. So if that's you, know that you're not alone. Our bodies are all different. So just find whatever feels good. And if this doesn't feel good, move on. Remembering to breathe. And release. Just noticing and staying with your sensations. And maybe you bring one foot in toward your pelvic floor and the other leg stays stretched out. Maybe you massage that leg that's stretched out or that foot that's brought in. Just giving it some gentle love. Be bending over or forward in whatever way feels good. Checking in with your breath. Switching legs if you want to. Maybe playing with or exploring, trusting that when you hold space for yourself, when you hold space for your body and the things that you've experienced or the trauma or tension that it is holding, as you practice that capacity to hold space and to process your own pain, your capacity to hold compassionate space for others and their pain is greatly increased. And this makes room for these two elements of healing and justice. That we can heal and that we can also see what needs to be done, right? What's the next movement or stillness that you need? What is the next step to take? What action needs to be taken? As we see clearly what we're experiencing and what other people are experiencing, what other animals or plants or planets, as we're all connected. Okay, so maybe we move to our backs if you want to. I'm just surrounded by fluffy things. And maybe you find a gentle rock with your knees up. Maybe they move in circles in one direction and then the other. Finding what feels good here. Maybe your arms are stretched out above your head. Maybe they're out to the side. Well, maybe just a rock and roll around. Maybe just play here on the floor. Whatever feels good. Making space for play and for joy. And maybe you find this reclined butterfly diamond goddess shape with your feet together, knees out. Maybe arms are up or to the side or on your body somewhere. That feels good. And just breathing here for a few breaths. Inhaling peace, light, love, energy, truth, intelligence, life. Releasing out anything you no longer need. Cleansing breath. Resetting breath. Maybe you take your arms out to your side, you straighten one leg and the other knee comes up and gently folds over to the opposite side, just finding a gentle twist in whatever way feels best for you. Opening your shoulders up as much as feels good, chin to whichever direction feels good. Knee higher or knee lower as it's gently twisted over. It's just a different sensation. Finding the one that feels good for your body and exploring how your breath and your body interact in this space. Few more breaths here, then we'll come back to center. When you're ready, gently bringing your body back to center, coming back to that reclined diamond goddess shape. Just resting here, letting your hips reset for a few breaths. And I'll sing you a little song I like to sing about releasing. It's by, I think it's by Alexis Sunshine Rose. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. Moving when you're ready, extending that opposite foot down and bringing the one that was extended bent and twisting that to the opposite side. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. Breathing in that love. Releasing any tension or control that you no longer need. Letting it melt into the floor, into the earth, Mother Earth, who receives it and recycles it. Sending gratitude as you send that release down into the earth. Moving your body or finding stillness or a shape in whatever way feels best for you. Making your way to a space where you can meditate or relax for a few minutes. Again, checking in with your body, finding your breath, settling your body with your breath. Grounding down into the earth and up into the heavens. Noticing your sensations and just staying with them in compassion. Again, this is a space where you can invite Christ and Christ consciousness to be with you, to hold space with you. My tummy's making all kinds of sounds, all kinds of releasing. Just finding a shape that feels restorative and good for you. Maybe you're seated, maybe you're lying down, maybe you're in an egg shape like me. Whatever feels best for you. Breathing in, allowing that wave of breath and prana and life to flow through and release any extra tension. And maybe you imagine a beautiful ball of light, peace, energy somewhere far out in the cosmos. And it's moving through the universe, through space, towards you. A gift of light and peace and love and relaxation and whatever else you need, making its way towards our planet, towards you, wherever you are. And this big ball of light, peace, energy, relaxation comes gently hurtling through the atmosphere and down towards your country, your city, your home, through the roof of your home as it comes to gently grace the top of your head, starting to flow down through you. This light, peace, energy, relaxation washes through your head, through your eyebrows and your eyes and your cheeks and your ears and your jaw, your nose and your mouth, your chin, your hair, all around your head, the front, back, sides, down into your neck, front, back, sides of your neck, this light peace, relaxation energy just swirling. Maybe it's a golden light and it's melting like nourishing honey through all the layers of you, flowing through this light peace energy, coming down through your shoulders, releasing and filling with relaxation down through your collarbone, down your right shoulder and arm, down to your hands, your fingers, and back up like a gentle wave washing up, swirling through across your chest, down through your other shoulder and arm and hands and fingers, and then back up. A gentle wave of this light and peace, relaxation up into your heart center, swirling and melting and filling and flowing through your heart, through your chest, your breasts, and down into your belly, your core, your solar plexus area, the front, the middle, the sides, the back, just releasing and relaxing as it flows through, down into your sacral area, your reproductive organs, your hips, your pelvic floor, this light peace energy flowing around and through, releasing and relaxing, down through your right leg and buttocks and down into your knees, swirling and flowing all the way down into your heels and your feet and your toes, and swirling, gently flowing back up that leg and into your pelvic floor again, your pelvic bowl, releasing and relaxing. And then moving over to your opposite leg, hip, buttocks, down your leg, this light peace energy swirling and flowing down into your knees and the rest of your legs and your heels and your ankles and your feet and your toes. Washing through, cleansing, nourishing, healing, releasing, back up through your legs, back up into your pelvic floor, your space of your reproductive organs, nourishing, flowing, healing. Breathing new life, inviting Christ consciousness, Christ light to breathe in new life, flowing through all the systems of you up into your core, releasing your belly, your gut, your second brain, flowing back up into your heart, nourishing and grounding your heart space. And back up through your arms and your shoulders and your neck and your head, releasing, relaxing, nourishing, healing. As it flows up through the crown of your head and just washes all around you, this light, peace, healing, releasing, relaxing, energizing, love, flowing and just holding you, holding the space around you and within you. And then expanding to hold the room, to hold the space outside the room, holding eventually the whole world. And the whole solar system expanding out into space, knowing that there is enough light to hold space for everyone and everything, the light and the dark, the beautiful and the difficult, the pain and the joy. Breathing with one breath, connected to all. And maybe you just feel with you Christ or angels or other guides that are wise and loving. Maybe you just feel your interconnectedness to everything and the light of Christ that is in all things and through all things and creates all things and also allows all things to die and then be reborn. Breathing here, maybe you imagine your special place, maybe in nature or another place, and there you are with Christ or your heavenly parents or your guides or just yourself. A few more breaths connecting here. And maybe you stay here for a while and just keep resting, keep integrating, metabolizing, receiving, renewing. Maybe you gently wiggle your fingers and your toes and any parts of your body as you're gently waking up. And maybe you feel like you want to do something a little more active. Maybe you circle your wrists in one direction and maybe the other. Lots of pops for me. Maybe you shake your hands. Maybe you just wiggle your body, stand up and shake. Shaking is an awesome practice. You can see now my legs just shaking. Just releasing on your breath if you want as you inhale. Exhale. If you're wanting more too, you can tap. These are acupressure points, tapping on your cheekbones, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. And then underneath your collarbone here. And then your breastbone here. Activating our body, right? Our body has the ability to settle and activate. And then this line of your ribs on the side body. And then if you want to, this is called in Tai Chi or Qigong, running the 10 dragons through the forest or through your hair, I don't remember. You can take your fingers and just Run them through, washing down. Crossing your body if you like, and as much as your back body as you can, crossing. And then you can stay standing or come to your knees or staying seated, and we'll just end with some aums. So it's A-U-M, 3 parts. Aum, connecting to 3 layers of existence. Exterior, or coming into our body, is internal. With all these aspects of ourselves. We'll do it 3 times. And I like to engage with this, just feeling gratitude and oneness and connection for all these things we've been exploring as we close our practice together. Inhaling. Really feeling the vibration and resonance. Inhale. Thank you for holding space for yourself and holding space for all others through that process. Thank you for allowing Christ to be more a part of your experience. And I do feel and know that as we have more settled, processed, metabolized bodies that have capacity for compassion and knowing what needs to happen next, whatever that justice is, whatever that next right step is, that we build that capacity in our world. And that is so important. So thank you for joining me. Namaste, my dear friends. So much love and light for you. Keep in touch if you want to share anything that you're experiencing, or not. Whatever you want. And maybe I'll see you before then, or maybe I will see you next month. Love you all.